Attorneys Jonna Spilbor and Reichel are with me this morning. Mark, the last time you and I spoke, you said this actually might be good news for the defense to have this testimony heard by the jury. Explain why you think that is.
Because the first thing I'm going to say to the jury is, who here thinks he committed a fraud within his law firm? And no matter what anyone answers to that, well, that's not what we're here for. Again, the first question I would probably ask this witness is, where were you on the night of the murders? And if you weren't there, why are you here? You're here to tell us that you believe, you have an opinion that Alex Murdaugh was engaged in fraud at the law firm. How anyone can tie that fraud to the physical violence required to do this without any physical evidence.
What do you think, Jonna? Is this a stretch for the prosecution?
No, this is actually going to be the defense's biggest challenge. And here's why, although I agree with our other guests, here's why. Whenever we allow this evidence of bad character into a trial, we also give the jury instructions that they're not allowed to take it as bad character evidence. We tell them that they have to take an X-Acto knife and instead determine whether or not it falls into an exception to the bad character evidence rule, in this case, motivation. Let me tell you how difficult that is for human beings. If I walk into your studio, Marni, and I'm 600 pounds, and I say, don't look at my weight as evidence that I'm guilty of being fat. Look at it as evidence instead that I'm simply unmotivated to go to the gym. At the end of the day, you're going to look at me and say, he's fat. This jury is going to look at Alex Murdaugh after this testimony and say, he's a crook, he's a thief, he's a criminal, he's a liar. And that type of person is capable of murder. That's not how they're supposed to view it, but that's what they will do. These juries are human.
Well, it caught my attention looking at the potential witness list in this case. And Mark, I'll have you weigh in on this first. As it appears, this man named Curtis Smith, at this point we know him as Cousin Eddie, is very likely to take the stand in this case. I think a lot of people think of the National Lampoon's movie when you hear Cousin Eddie. This guy's in jail. He was arrested after allegedly shooting Alex Murdaugh in the head months after his wife and son were murdered, an attempted suicide case. Apparently the two were tied. Alex was trying to gain financial money for his son from an insurance payout. The jury might hear all of this. How important could this testimony be? The prosecutors want to bring Cousin Eddie on the stand.
I think this gets closer to actually helping the prosecution, okay, because it shows Murdaugh very involved in a violent act, a strange violent act, with the intent to get away with it. Okay, so I think this is going to be very difficult for the defense. I'm not saying the defense isn't going to be able to come through this, but I guarantee you, if this comes in, the jury, if I was the prosecution, I'd be very happy. And I'd be able to say, look, this was a cockamamie idea that did involve a gun and violence in the head. And, you know, what do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? So I think this one really helps a lot more, if you ask me.
Well, and I guess the jury will have to decide if they hear his testimony, if Cousin Eddie is credible. What we're hearing from prosecutors and those closely following the case is he could actually tell the jury that Alex Murdaugh confessed to killing his wife and son when they were on that road. Jonna, jump in on this one.
I think Cousin Eddie is going to be a loose cannon. He's the wild card. Anything could come out of his mouth. He could say that there was a confession. He could say that, you know, perhaps Alex approached him and wanted to hire him to off his family, just like he wanted him to off Alex Murdaugh. Anything could come out of his mouth, but you hit it on the head. The defense has to cross-examine him and show the jury that he's simply not credible, that he's crazy Cousin Eddie, and that's it.
I'm trying to understand, the prosecution is going to call Randy Murdaugh, which is Alex Murdaugh's brother. He's also an attorney. He worked in the firm where Alex used to work. He's one of the prosecutor's witnesses, but I see him sitting behind his brother in the courtroom almost every single day. Mark, what do you make of that?
You know, I'm concerned that this could rise to some kind of attorney-client communication. If he said something to his brother, you know, assuming it would be held confidential, I'm wondering if it's something about what he said. But this trial by ambush is what really is difficult for the defense. That leaves the prosecution driving the train when they know what they're going to bring in. This kind of trial by ambush that it seems like we're not knowing in advance is a difficult chore for the defense.
And I do see his brother Randy in the court sitting behind Alex. And John, I'll give you the final word. I see Buster in the court every single day. He's the only surviving son of Alex Murdaugh. Chance that he takes the stand?
Oh, boy. I hope not. I hope that they don't need him. Look, they shouldn't need this financial information to prove their point. If they had any direct evidence, if they had more physical evidence, they wouldn't need this trial by ambush. I like that phrase. I hope Buster doesn't have to get put through the ringer. He's been through enough.
Boy, this could be quite a week with some of this testimony coming in. Attorneys Jonna Spilbor, Mark Reichel, thanks for watching it with us. We're going to keep our eye on the courtroom this morning in South Carolina. Good to see you both. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.